The line between predator and prey is razor thin. Just one careless moment, and everything can turn upside down. As you watch these scenes unfold, are you rooting for the underdogs to flip the script, or for the strong to claim their triumph? Tell us in the comments before stepping into. Savage savanna. Hunt or be hunted. Each raindrop falling onto the savanna at the start of the rainy season feels like the opening note of a new chapter in the life of the African buffalo. This is the moment when the females, after nearly 12 months of pregnancy, retreat into dense thickets to give birth. Stepping away from the herd, they trade the safety of numbers for a sliver of peace, a quiet place where the cries of a newborn calf won't carry too far to the ears of lurking predators. But that moment is also one of the most fragile in the wild. Within just a few hours of being born, a calf must stand and learn to walk. It's not a milestone, it's a matter of survival. During the first few weeks, the calf will stay hidden deep within the vegetation until it's strong enough to join the main herd. The entire buffalo herd then becomes a moving fortress, surrounding their tiniest members, ready to stand their ground against the African lions, master hunters of the savanna. Yet even these defensive circles, built from hundreds of sharp, pointed horns, are not always enough to hold back the inevitable. One day, under the scorching sun of the open plains, a lone male lion appeared at the edge of the buffalo herd. Beneath the thick mane draped around his head and neck, his gaze locked onto a single target, a buffalo calf wandering a short distance from its mother. The herd grazed on, unaware. Then, with a sudden leap and a single bite, powered by jaws that can deliver over 3,500 newtons, the calf's slender neck was pinned. A true surge of fury, but her calf could no longer be saved. That's how life unfolds here, a cycle with no clear end. Another time, a herd of African buffalo was crossing open land, flanked by low shrubs, concealing 6 lionesses moving silently in pursuit. And their target is always the calf nestled within the herd. Kong Ko Noi Dung. The buffalo quickly sensed the threat, but the lions didn't give up. As one lioness drew the herd's attention, the others moved around the back, trying to sneak in a bite. The buffalo knew the tactic, so the whole herd surged forward to break through the trap. But the calf was too young, too small to keep up. It and its mother were left behind. The herd didn't turn back. The calf's legs began to tremble. It stood frozen like a tiny sapling waiting to be cut down. One lioness crept closer, then another. No need to fight over it, just a few bites, and that little life fades away in the sound of the wind. Once a calf has been bitten, carrying the scent of lions, it becomes a burden to the herd. Buffalo rely on scent to recognize one another. The smell of blood, of flesh, of carnivores, It's something they fear. So, to protect the many, sometimes they must leave behind the one that no longer has a chance. One calf once survived an attack. It escaped the lion's jaws and kept up with the herd, but its mother had been injured and could go no farther. Its panicked cries echoed across the savannah, drawing the lions in, tracking every note of its voice. That calf never cried again. If loss is inevitable, then what truly matters more? Fighting until the very end, or learning when to let go? Stories like these happen every day, not because buffalo are weak, not because they don't know love or how to protect one another, but because this world, since long ago, was never built to be fair. But is that unfairness a punishment? Or is it a trial, one meant to refine, to forge those who are stronger, more enduring, and ready to fight harder? Because when an African buffalo is pushed to the brink, what the lions face is no longer prey, it's pure fury. And the story of that vengeance will be told in the next chapter. In the previous chapter, we witnessed an entire herd of African buffalo forced to flee under the pursuit of a pride of lions. But this time, the story opens from a different angle, where the hunters must come face to face with the true power of those often seen as prey. This is the rebellious instinct of the savannah, where the predator doesn't always come out on top. Let's begin by putting a lion pride side by side with a buffalo herd to see just how stark the contrast can be. A typical lion pride consists of about 10 to 15 individuals, most of whom are lionesses, the primary hunters, while the adult male lion usually takes on the role of defending the territory and stepping in when sheer strength is needed. The pride's strength lies in their coordination and group hunting strategies, especially their skill in isolating the weak or slow from the herd. In contrast, a buffalo herd can number in the hundreds, sometimes even over 1,000. Each adult buffalo weighs between 500 and 900 kilograms, with males sporting a pair of massive horns known as the boss, thick as steel shields. These horns cover the skull, serving as both weapon and armor against even the most intense assaults. The herd's greatest strength doesn't lie in agility or strategy. It's in their unity. When a lion pride moves in on a distracted buffalo herd, they quickly fan out to encircle the group, with a few lionesses initiating the attack from the rear. A lone buffalo is separated. The lionesses leap onto its back, claws and teeth trying to bring it down. But in the blink of an eye, another buffalo charges in and sends a lioness flying through the air. The males with the boss at the front, ready to strike at anything that dares to get close. The lion pride retreats immediately, because standing against that kind of collective force is a path to certain ruin. When hundreds of buffalo move together, the ground itself seems to shake. They leave behind swirling clouds of white dust, sweeping over everything in their path. Lioness's body is flung to the river's edge, but the buffalo keep charging, slamming into what's already still. Every individual in the herd understands. Hesitation costs lives. The next to fall under claws and teeth could be them. This doesn't just apply to heavyweight prey like the African buffalo. It's true even for lesser-known predators, the reptiles. In Africa, no reptile is more feared than the legless kind, snakes, and pythons. While venomous species like the black mamba or Egyptian cobra carry toxins powerful enough to end a life in minutes, the African rock python, though non-venomous, wields something even more fearsome: crushing force. A full-grown rock python can reach lengths of up to 6 meters and weigh over 130 kilograms. One precise strike, followed by a tight coil, is enough to stop a beating heart. Recent studies show that a python's constriction can completely cut off blood flow to the brain within seconds, not by suffocation, but by stopping the heart in the very first squeeze.
Moving with a powerful, muscular rhythm, begins its slow...
Still, in a land where big cats like lions rule with hammer-like strikes and claws sharp as razors, small but mighty creatures like the black mamba sometimes have to stand down. A single paw swipe or head slam from a lion can leave a snake stunned, disoriented, and forced to retreat. Fast as snakes are, and strong as pythons may be, they tend to avoid the big cats, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. But that fragile balance is easily broken by the young. Lion cubs, curious, bold, and inexperienced, are often the spark behind unexpected encounters. They fear nothing and treat everything as a toy, from dry branches and termite mounds to a resting rock python. On a warm, breezy day in the savannah, a group of lion cubs plays near a bush. Not far off, a 4-meter-long African rock python lies coiled, its speckled grey-brown scales blending perfectly into the dry soil and scattered shade. A classic ambush posture, but today it isn't hunting, it's resting. One cub, about 7 months old, spots the strange coil of muscle. Just like its parents, it uses its tiny claws to explore everything. It's not a fatal bite, but it's a clear warning. To the python, if it doesn't back off, it becomes fair game. But for the older sister, those destined to become the savannah's top hunters, this seems like an intriguing challenge. She circles around, provoking the python. It's lucky the python isn't venomous, but no venom doesn't mean no danger. A rock python can swallow prey weighing up to 50 kilograms, and this cub was under 30 inches. Curiosity killed the cat, and this time it almost did. Luckily, its mother arrived just in time. The battle was over. The python's fury turned it into the pride's next meal. But instinct, the rebel instinct, simmers beneath every encounter, waiting for a moment to rise. Because in nature, there is no eternal king, only fleeting moments where the strong speak and the weak push back. Amid the vast African savanna, there are only 2 options to survive: hunt or be hunted. While the big ones like buffalo and giraffe must throw every trick in their defensive and offensive arsenal to fend off a pride of lions, there is another creature, much smaller, yet incredibly headstrong. That's the honey badger, with a body barely 1/10 the size of a lioness and weighing less than 16 kilograms. It's the one animal that the entire savanna gives a wide berth. It doesn't have the speed of a cheetah, the muscle of a lion, or the protection of a herd, but it has something even the biggest beasts are wary of: a level of aggression that borders on ferocity, an utter lack of fear, and a body that seems tailor-made to defy fate itself. The honey badger isn't much to look at. Short and long-bodied, covered in thick black fur, with a silvery white stripe running from its head down to the base of its tail. But don't let its plain appearance fool you. Every centimeter of the honey badger's body is built for survival and combat. A lioness, the pride's main hunter, once chased a lone honey badger across the savannah. It should have been over quickly, just like countless times before. But this time, when only a few steps remained before capture, the honey badger abruptly stopped. It turned, bared its sharp canines, as if it wasn't being hunted, but was doing the hunting. The honey badger doesn't look for trouble with big predators. It just wants to move on, but the lioness stood in its way, so it turned and fought, carving out its own path to escape. The honey badger is famous for its strength, tenacity, and resilience. They're known for fierce counterattacks and a refusal to back down from most animals when escape isn't an option. In a 2018 study, researchers found that the presence of large predators had no effect on honey badger populations in the Serengeti. But honey badgers are not invincible. They are warriors, always doing their best to endure in their harsh environment. Honey badgers live solitary lives, coming together only to mate. Males don't take part in raising the young. Each litter typically has just one cub, and the young must spend over 12 months learning how to hunt, dig, and climb before becoming independent, a rare K-selected reproductive strategy in the weasel family. Their diet reflects their unbreakable spirit. They're opportunistic carnivores with a menu of over 60 species in the southern Kalahari. From insect larvae, lizards, scorpions, and birds to monitor lizards, 1-meter-long crocodiles, and 3-meter pythons. Few animals dare eat a king cobra, but the honey badger does. They have a remarkable resistance to venom. After a bite, they may pass out for a few minutes, appearing lifeless, then wake up and resume their meal as if nothing happened. Evolution of the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor in their muscles has rendered the alpha neurotoxin ineffective, making them one of the rare creatures immune to snake venom. Still, not every opponent is easily dealt with. In another encounter, the honey badger met its match, caught in the deadly coils of a python. Pythons don't bite, they squeeze, and they do it with brutal efficiency. The honey badger braced itself, thrashed, clawed, and twisted, but couldn't break free. The end seemed near, until a third party appeared, a black-backed jackal, curious about the struggle. The jackal's presence distracted the python for just a moment, and that was all the honey badger needed. This is the largest terrestrial mustelid in Africa, and it also possesses a brain disproportionately large for its body size, giving it the ability to solve problems, remember paths, and learn from failed hunts. Unlike many animals that act on instinct alone, the honey badger makes decisions with intention. Once it broke free from the coils, it came back for revenge. The honey badger broke free from the crushing grip. From a limp, near-lifeless victim, it turned and bit into the python's tail, clamping down and dragging the creature that had nearly taken its life. The python couldn't retaliate. It was busy chasing off the jackal. A second jackal appeared, biting the honey badger from behind. A tug-of-war began, python in the middle, with one jackal at one end and the honey badger at the other. Another jackal jumped in to help its companion, but its bite couldn't pierce the honey badger's thick skin. It was unclear whether the badger was fighting the jackals or cleverly using their pulling force to finish off the python. Under the combined bite pressure from two fang-bearing predators, the python grew weaker and finally went still. Once the threat was neutralized, the honey badger turned its fury on the jackals, fighting to reclaim its hard-won meal. It dragged its prey into the brush, leaving the two black-backed jackals standing motionless. This time, even the masters of theft had to accept defeat. But brute strength alone isn't enough to become one of the most stubborn survivors on the savannah. The honey badger holds a rare gift in the animal kingdom: exceptional intelligence. Few species besides Homo sapiens, elephants, dolphins, and chimpanzees can use tools, but the honey badger can. Researchers have observed a honey badger dragging a tire, moving large rocks, even stacking items in a research enclosure to create a step and reach food hung above. One individual named Stoffel in South Africa earned both admiration and frustration, escaping by climbing trees, bending branches, pulling rakes, stacking stones, even using dried mud as a ladder. No barrier could hold back this creature's determination and creativity. That intelligence also shines in its adaptability. They learn to raid beehives, not just for honey, but mainly for the nutrient-rich larvae. Some have been seen using the strong odor from their anal glands to disperse the bees, allowing for a sting-free entry. It's the perfect blend of biology and strategy. As the silhouette of the honey badger faded into the brush, dragging the heavy python carcass like a hard-earned trophy, the two black-backed jackals remained frozen. They weren't used to losing. As seasoned scavengers of the savannah, jackals often dine on the best parts of a feast without having to fight for it. But this time, things were different. Nothing could be taken from a honey badger that had set its mind to keeping its prize. The jackals didn't lose because they were weak, but because they encountered something unlike anything else on the savannah. But the jackals won't stay down for long. In this wild world, where there's no room for mercy, they always come back. Quietly, cleverly, and more patient than anyone. But that's a different story. A story for the next chapter. The black-backed jackal may be seen as a coward, but it's also one of the most resilient survivors on the African savannah. Weighing only around 6 to 13 kilograms, it's tiny compared to lions that can reach 190 kilograms or hyenas at over 80 kilograms. But that doesn't mean it ranks low on the savannah's food chain. In fact, it's this very size, combined with intelligence, that has helped the jackal persist for millions of years. With its signature silver saddle, a streak of black fur mixed with silvery strands running from the back of its neck to the base of its tail, the black-backed jackal is instantly recognizable. This dark stripe stands out against its reddish gold or tawny sides and legs, giving it the appearance of wearing a sunlit cloak. Unlike many animals that live in chaotic packs, jackals stick to tightly bonded family units. Once paired, a male and female jackal often stay monogamous for life. They hunt together, defend territory together, and, most importantly, raise their pups together. Offspring from previous litters will often stay behind to help care for and protect the next generation. This cooperative model dramatically boosts the group's survival rate, a vivid example of how loyalty becomes strength in the wild. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about this species isn't how they live, but how long they've been doing it. Fossil evidence suggests the black-backed jackal has remained almost unchanged for more than 2 million years. While other species either evolved to adapt or vanished because they couldn't, the jackal endured as if nature had already gotten it right the first time. Scientists refer to them as a kind of living fossil within the dog family. To earn that title, Their biology, lifestyle, and survival strategies must be nearly flawless. Jackals are masters of flexible adaptation. They're true omnivores with a menu that includes rodents, birds, reptiles, insects, fruits, berries, and even carrion. If they can't hunt, they'll steal. If they can't find fresh meat, they'll scavenge what lions or leopards leave behind. And it's no coincidence that such a small creature can roam comfortably near some of the savanna's most feared predators, lions, hyenas, leopards, without being harmed. First, the cost-benefit trade-off doesn't add up. According to optimal foraging theory, predators target prey that provides more energy than it costs to hunt. A tiny jackal with barely enough meat to make a snack isn't worth the chase, the fight, or the risk of injury. Second, the jackal doesn't pose a direct threat to the main meal. It usually sneaks in for scraps, tiny bits of meat the larger predators have little interest in. A few grams of flesh aren't enough to keep a lion up at night. Third, injuries are dangerous. For a lion, even a torn paw pad from chasing a jackal or a defensive nip to the nose could make hunting harder for days. In a harsh landscape like the savanna, even minor wounds can lead to major consequences. Instinct tells the big predators better to let it go. Fourth, jackals play an ecological role. Alongside scavengers like vultures, they help clean the savanna, disposing of scraps and reducing the spread of disease. In a well-balanced ecosystem, the weak aren't always eliminated. Sometimes they're tolerated. And lastly, jackals aren't easy to catch. They're hyper-alert, can run up to 60 kilometers per hour, and usually operate in pairs. Even when a big cat wants to pounce, keeping up with a jackal is easier said than done. Still, jackals aren't just scavengers. When the opportunity arises, they hunt. A pair of jackals can absolutely take down a small antelope. Under the scorching noonday sun, where the ground quivers under the African heat, an adult gazelle grazes calmly in the open. Its black eyes radiate confidence, its horns curve like twin blades, ready to respond to any threat. It's used to the presence of black-backed jackals, and when it spots one moving through the tall golden grass nearby, it shows no fear. A predator weighing less than 13 kilograms? To a gazelle 3 times that size, this was a joke. The jackal didn't rush. It moved slowly, almost leisurely, eyes locked on its prey. No growling like a leopard, no sprinting like a wild dog. It simply crept forward, step by step, as if sizing up an opponent rather than stalking a meal. The gazelle turned its head toward the intruder, legs twitching slightly, signaling a readiness to stand its ground. It lowered its head and nudged the black-backed jackal away. Minutes passed in silent tension. 2 creatures locked in a stare, an uneven standoff. And then, like an arrow held too long on a drawn bowstring, the jackal lunged, not head-on, but sideways, darting toward the gazelle's flank. A sharp, bone-rattling sound rang out as the 2 bodies collided. The jackal didn't let go. It held firm, hind legs braced against the ground, its small frame made whole by the sheer force of instinct and determination. The gazelle fought, but too late. Within seconds, its legs buckled. Confidence had led it to underestimate its opponent. But kills like this are rare. Jackals more often prey on smaller animals. In the misty light of dawn, as flocks of birds gather on the ground to peck at grass seeds, a jackal inches forward, hidden in the burnt yellow grass. Then, like a bolt, leaps forward, seizing an unsuspecting bird mid-forage. Swift, precise and clean, proving again that the jackal is no weakling. It's simply wise enough to know when to fight and when to walk away. At a glance, it might seem like the black-backed jackal lives an easy life, small but unharmed, clever and opportunistic. But life in the savannah is never easy. The jackal's biggest vulnerability may lie in its voice. On silent nights, its haunting cry, part whimper, part shriek, echoes across the plains. It serves as a beacon to its family, but also accidentally reveals its position to predators lurking nearby. The dangers hidden within the call of the black-backed jackal will be uncovered in the next chapter of this journey. But until then, one question remains unanswered. Is this creature a coward or a mind ahead of its time? A survivor that has endured 2 million years on the savannah by knowing when to disappear and when to strike, does it truly deserve to be called cowardly? What do you think? Is cleverness just another form of courage? Tell us in the comments below. Under the scorching sun of the African savannah, where dry winds sweep through thorny bushes and golden grasslands, life moves within an invisible order, one where sound itself can be an invitation to demise. Here, silence is not a pause, but a law, a rule of survival unwritten, yet any creature that breaks it may have to pay the ultimate price. A black-backed jackal moves quietly through the grass. With a small frame weighing just about 10 kilograms, pointed ears, and a distinctive black saddle of fur on its back, it's a familiar presence in this ecosystem. But in the world of the leopard, that familiarity can quickly become an appetizer. The jackal is busy hunting small birds in the low shrubs. Its movements are careful, but its biggest mistake isn't in its footsteps. It's in the mournful howls it let out earlier, a signature sound of the species, part of their complex communication system, often heard at dusk and dawn. These howls serve to mark territory, to call for a mate, or to inform other group members of their location. But today, it has broken the law of silence. Hidden beneath the tall grass and speckled sunlight filtering through the canopy, the leopard lies motionless. Its coat, patterned with rosettes, blends seamlessly into the landscape. Each leopard has a unique set of rosettes, like fingerprints in the human world. This camouflage is what makes it one of the stealthiest predators on Earth. Beneath the calm exterior is a body of immense power. A leopard can weigh up to 90 kilograms, but what sets it apart is not the weight, it's the agility. With powerful shoulder muscles and specially adapted scapulae, it can perform climbing feats few other big cats can match. They can haul prey weighing 2 or even 3 times their own body weight up into trees, places where neither lion nor hyena can follow. Just ahead, the black-backed jackal is still stalking birds. It has no idea that its end is just behind it. The leopard creeps forward, each step calculated to be silent. The wind shifts, rustling the grass slightly. The jackal freezes. Both animals remain still for what feels like an eternity. Then the flock of birds regathers ahead, an opening that prompts the jackal to leap forward. But it never reaches the birds. From the opposite direction, the leopard's powerful jaws clamp down on its throat in a leap that is both precise and explosive. No sound, no struggle. Only silence returns to the savannah. The law has been enforced. The leopard doesn't eat right away. That's not its way. It lifts the jackal's lifeless body and climbs into a nearby acacia tree. To a leopard, a tree is more than shelter. It's a refrigerator, a dining room, a bedroom, and a watchtower. From that height, it can rest while keeping an eye on everything below. A leopard's life is a sequence of quiet moments, interrupted only by bursts of sudden, flawless hunts. Only during mating season is that stillness occasionally broken. Outside of that time, leopards live alone, silent, discreet, and endlessly patient. One afternoon, as the leopard is resting on a branch, the familiar sound rings out again. The barking of a pair of black-backed jackals, perhaps a warning to others that a predator is near their den, or maybe just a way to stay connected across their wide territory. But to the leopard, those sounds are an intrusion. This time, the leopard doesn't hesitate. It slips down from the tree and glides across the plains. The hunt is swift and perfect. Now in its mouth is a bat-eared fox, a small, big-eared fox that typically forages at night. Perhaps this very fox was the source of the jackal's earlier alarm. Either way, it's an ideal target for the leopard to use as a training tool for its young, a nearly grown cub now seen by its side. The leopard releases the prey to teach the cub how to hunt, but the lesson goes awry. The cub is too eager, and the fox nearly escapes. The leopard mother must intervene again, channeling her strength and speed to subdue the prey. Meanwhile, off in the distance, the black-backed jackal keeps calling, restless, unrelenting. Maybe it will be the target on another day. In this world, where every sound carries the weight of survival, the leopard chooses to live by the law of silence. And only those who know when to stay silent will endure beneath the unforgiving sky of the savannah. In stark contrast to the eerie calm and silence of the leopard, its prey across the African savannah are loud enough to shake the plains, and understandably so. Without those blaring alarm calls, entire herds of impalas or groups of chacma baboons would quickly become part of the feast of this cunning feline predator. In the world of chacma baboons, every sound carries a meaning tied to survival. They have a distinct scream used specifically to warn others of a leopard's presence. A sharp, brief call, but enough to send an entire troop of foraging baboons scrambling up trees or retreating towards safe cliffs. Chacma baboons are the largest baboon species in Africa. An adult male can weigh up to 30 kilograms, with canine teeth as long as 5 centimeters, longer even than those of a lion. They live in large troops, ranging from 20 to over 100 individuals in tightly structured societies where status is determined by strength, cunning, and strategic alliances. Females inherit their rank from their mothers, while males must constantly fight to carve out their place in a new troop. They are ground-dwelling creatures, yet their way of life blends order with chaos, spending daylight hours foraging and nights sheltering on high cliffs or sturdy tree branches to stay safe from predators. The diet of chacma baboons clearly reflects their adaptive survival instincts. They eat roots, seeds, fruits, insects, bird eggs, and even small animals. As opportunistic omnivores, baboons can thrive in a wide variety of environments, from dry savannas and semi-deserts to highland areas, as long as there's access to water and safe shelter. They even have large cheek pouches that can store an amount of food equivalent to the contents of their stomach, allowing them to gather food quickly and move to safety before eating. Yet, despite all these remarkable traits, Chacma baboons still appear on the leopard's menu. An ambush happens fast and without mercy. The leopard, hidden within tall grass, moves without a sound, golden eyes tracking the slightest movement among the baboons foraging on the ground. All it takes is one misstep, a youngster wandering too far, or a lone adult straying from the group, and the leopard's pounce ends it all. But the hunter doesn't always win. Sometimes a single wahoo from a vigilant baboon sends the whole troop into a frenzy. The scream ripples like a wave, and even the nearby impalas freeze, heads raised, slender ears rotating constantly to locate the threat. Impalas are one of the true icons of the savannah. They can leap up to 3 meters high and cover distances of up to 10 meters in a single bound, reaching running speeds of up to 90 kilometers per hour. When a leopard shows up, an impala herd can erupt into a chaotic storm of leaps, making it difficult for the predator to focus on a single target. But before that chaos unfolds, it's often the baboon that detects the threat first. They see it from afar, while the impalas, with their keen hearing and sensitive sense of smell, can pick up on things the baboon's eyes haven't caught yet. Two species, two different sensory systems, but when combined, they form a nearly perfect radar. Baboons scan from above, impalas listen from the ground. When either detects something out of place, the alarm spreads instantly. No shared language needed, just pure instinct. And just like that, two seemingly different creatures coexist, as if they were two living sensors in a single warning system. A strange kind of symbiosis, both fragile and essential in the unforgiving savannah. But nature is never simple. When opportunity knocks, even the strongest alliances can collapse in an instant. Baboons are omnivores. Animal protein, even if only occasionally, is still a necessary part of their diet. And when they spot a lone baby impala hidden in the grass where it thought it was safe, their hunting instinct kicks in. With sharp canines and overwhelming strength, a male baboon charges in, grabbing the young impala in just a few seconds. The mother impala stands nearby, helpless, without fangs, claws, or any means to reclaim her young. On the savannah, where every creature fights to stay alive, there's no room for emotion or loyalty. The partnership between Chacma baboons and impalas is a relationship full of contradictions. Bonded allies in danger, but potential foes when survival demands it. A toxic yet necessary connection, because it's precisely those contradictions that shape the delicate balance of nature. And here, there is no good or bad. Only the continuous rhythm of life, sustained through both cooperation and betrayal, through alarm calls and the quiet cries of vulnerable lives, swallowed by the cycle of the wild. From a distance, the African savanna is a vivid living painting, where herds of antelope leap through sunlight and baboons and impalas share a mutual unease under the shadow of predators. But behind all that bustle flows an undercurrent of danger, where every creature lives on the fragile line between survival and extinction. Amid the chaos of life, there is another creature quietly fighting, not to kill, but to nurture, not to seize prey, but to safeguard the most sacred gift nature offers, the life of the next generation. She is a mother cheetah, slender, swift as the wind, carrying an entire future behind her spotted coat. As the sun rises above the horizon and morning dew still clings to the grass, she leads her cubs out from their shelter. The survival journey begins. It's not just a search for food, but a daily escape from the aggressive and powerful. The African cheetah is neither the biggest nor the strongest feline in Africa. It doesn't have the crushing tackle of a lioness or the sharp jaws and muscular build of a leopardess. Though their body weights may be similar, the cheetah isn't considered part of the big cat family. But it is the fastest land animal on Earth, and that speed is its weapon, its shield, and the lifeline for its tiny cubs waiting nearby. The cheetah's entire body is a masterpiece designed for the sprint. Its spine is so flexible it acts like a giant spring, allowing each stride to reach up to 7 meters, longer than a standard sedan. Its lungs, heart and nostrils are oversized in proportion to its body, pulling in the maximum amount of oxygen during high-intensity chases. Its claws, unlike those of true big cats, are semi-retractable and always exposed, functioning like cleats to grip the ground and boost traction. Its long tail, nearly the length of its body, works like a rudder, stabilizing sharp turns at high speed. Thanks to all these biological features, a cheetah can accelerate from 0 to 96 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds, outpacing many high-end sports cars. But even with this divine speed, the mother cheetah lives in solitude. After mating, she leaves the shared territory behind, seeking a secluded spot among thick bushes or tall grass to give birth and begin her solitary journey through the harsh savanna. Gestation lasts only about 90 to 95 days. At birth, a litter usually includes 3 to 5 cubs, tiny, blind and fragile, yet already equipped with one remarkable feature. From spine to neck, each cub is covered in a smoky gray mantle of fur, fluttering like a cloak in the wind. This feature holds great survival value. It makes the cub resemble the honey badger, a notoriously fierce and reckless animal that even top predators tend to avoid. This biological disguise is nature's first gift of protection to these vulnerable newborns. But that camouflage doesn't last forever. After days of nursing, the mother cheetah begins to run out of energy. To survive, she must leave the den each day to hunt, leaving the cubs alone in a world filled with danger. Other creatures like lionesses or leopardesses, larger, stronger, and ever alert to competing predators, may kill cheetah cubs, not to eat them, but to eliminate a potential future threat. Compared to a lioness, the cheetah is much smaller. An adult lioness can weigh more than 100 kilograms, while a cheetah only weighs around 40 to 65 kilograms. In terms of size, the lioness towers over the cheetah in both height and body length. Its powerful jaws can crush bone. The cheetah, built for finesse, has slender teeth, only strong enough to clamp down on the throat of smaller prey. That's why, even if she hears her cubs crying from the tall grass, the mother won't charge into battle, because it wouldn't be a fair fight, and any injury could be a fatal sentence for a creature whose survival depends on speed. And then, the inevitable happens. One cub is killed by the lioness, not out of hunger, but from the primal drive of a top predator to eliminate rivals before they grow. 2 others go missing. The mother cheetah roams the savanna, ears perked, eyes scanning every blade of grass, carrying both hope and heartbreak. And then, like a small miracle in this unforgiving desert, a familiar sound floats on the wind. A soft chirp, hesitant but unmistakable. 2 cubs run toward her from behind a low bush, slender, trembling, but alive. This reunion isn't met with tears, but with action. It's time for the children of the savannah to begin their survival lessons. Their first lesson arrives as a special gift, a live young antelope. Not a free meal, but a survival tool. The mother cheetah releases the prey, watching her cubs stalk, pounce, miss, stumble, and fail. But that's a vital part of the brutal curriculum here. Only by practicing, failing, and trying again can they become hunters like her. Meanwhile, the mother cheetah must hunt larger, stronger, swifter antelopes. To do so, she must leave the cubs behind. Once again, the young face danger, but this time, unlike before, they've been taught how to hide, wait, and watch. On the African savanna, life is a series of tough choices. Speed doesn't always mean strength. Being a mother doesn't always mean you can protect everyone. But as in every ecosystem crafted by the Creator, each being has its own role, and life is not about dominance, but about adaptability and teaching. The sun rises, a new day begins, and the savanna enters another cycle of survival. Every minute of daylight is a precious opportunity for creatures like the cheetah, whose lives depend on speed, to fulfill the mission nature has entrusted them with, to hunt, to teach, and to endure. To understand why the cheetah chooses sunlight instead of shadow, unlike most other predators, we must look deeper into the evolutionary strategy of the fastest feline on Earth. Across the vast, dry, sea-like grasslands of the African savanna, the timing of a predator's activity is not simply a matter of biological rhythm. It's a survival strategy honed over millions of years. In a world where power is measured in teeth, claws, and body mass, the African cheetah, the fastest cat on Earth, has chosen a different path: daylight. Unlike the classic predators of the savanna, like lions, leopards, or spotted hyenas, who thrive at dawn, dusk, or under the cool cloak of night, the cheetah goes against the clock. They typically begin hunting in mid-morning, once the sun is high and other predators have retreated after a long night. This isn't random, it's an incredibly smart and practical adaptation. In an environment where meal theft is common, the cheetah lacks the strength to defend its catch against larger, more aggressive predators. An adult lion, weighing 2 or even 3 times more than a cheetah, can take over a kill with nothing more than a menacing growl. Even a large group of spotted hyenas can overwhelm a solitary hunter. So, avoiding confrontation is a wise move. By hunting in daylight, especially in mid-morning or late afternoon, the cheetah separates itself from the rush hour of other predators, reducing the risk of run-ins and stolen kills. Besides safety, vision is the greatest advantage daylight offers the cheetah. Unlike the leopard, whose eyes are perfectly adapted for low light, the cheetah relies almost entirely on sight to hunt. It needs a clear, well-lit view, unobstructed by darkness or the dim haze of twilight. From over 200 meters away, a slight head movement or flicker of a young gazelle is enough to launch the cheetah like a missile across the plain. In that moment, speed becomes the ultimate weapon, and daylight is its most faithful ally. But the savanna is not always kind. In the dry season, midday ground temperatures can rise above 45 degrees Celsius, making the earth shimmer with heat. The cheetah, with its slim build and less efficient cooling system, avoids activity during the hottest part of the day. It rests in the shade, licks its fur to cool down, and conserves energy for the next hunt. However, this very trait has given rise to a new trend observed in recent studies: a shift in activity patterns. As average temperatures in regions like the Serengeti or Kalahari continue to rise due to climate change, Cheetahs have started adjusting their schedules toward evening hours, but this also means overlapping with the activity windows of larger carnivores like lions and hyenas, increasing the risk of competition and confrontation. It's a cruel paradox. To avoid the heat, they must face greater danger. In the bigger picture of the savanna, the cheetah is a classic example of a diurnal predator, but also a symbol of adaptability and resilience. From choosing the right hunting hours to leveraging terrain and sunlight, every move they make is proof of nature's evolutionary genius. Speed is not always the only answer. Sometimes survival lies in knowing when to hold back. If, in the previous part, we witnessed a lone mother cheetah struggling across the savanna with her 3 fragile cubs, hunting while constantly watching over her young amid countless threats, this time, the story begins from a very different place. African wild dogs are not the fastest runners, but they can run the longest. They can sustain speeds of 50 kilometers per hour over 5 kilometers, a feat even trained human marathoners struggle to match. Additionally, having only 4 toes per foot instead of 5 like most canines, their stride becomes remarkably efficient and compact. They prefer not dense forests or high mountains, but dry plains and open savannas, where sunlight spreads wide, vegetation is sparse, and visibility is unobstructed. In regions like Botswana's Okavango Delta, or Tanzania's Serengeti and Zambia's Luangwa Valley, packs of African wild dogs have the space they need to execute their elite hunting strategy: isolate, chase, exhaust. The hunt begins in silence. A faint whistling sound, almost like a secret code, is given by one dog. The entire pack launches forward, large, rounded ears scanning in all directions to track their prey. They choose a target, a young impala or wildebeest, and the chase begins. One dog attacks first, then pulls back as another takes its place. The pursuit can stretch for kilometers, through brush and across streams. And when the prey collapses from exhaustion, the feast begins, swift and efficient. But that's on the savanna. What happens when the terrain changes? What if the hunt no longer plays out across open grassland, but among treacherous rocky cliffs? Then, the story takes a very different turn. On the steep edges of stone outcrops appears a tiny yet astonishingly agile creature, the klipspringer. A small antelope, weighing less than 18 kilograms, but possessing a mastery of balance and rock navigation few animals can match. The klipspringer is a survivalist of agility and adaptation. Its hooves are a marvel of evolution, cylindrical, compact, with soft, springy soles, allowing it to walk on the tips of its toes like a ballet dancer. With this, it can cling to steep, slippery or narrow rocks, no wider than a human palm. As the African wild dogs watch from the base of the cliff, their eyes fix on a lone figure standing calmly on the rocky ledge. It's a klipspringer, quietly munching on lichen, ears perked to every sound. One wild dog emits a quiet whistle, but the pack stays still. Because they know, on this terrain, they are not the kings. They can't rely on surround tactics, nor can they coordinate or form formations. Even their greatest strength, endurance, has become useless here. The African wild dog pack stands at the base of the cliff, watching. Their large ears turn toward the prey, as if trying to measure the distance. But in that movement, there is also something deeply helpless. Up above, the klipspringer calmly hops away with a few light leaps, each one a clear and effortless rejection of every attempt to approach. Its thick, coarse and bristly coat helps regulate body temperature, from the morning chill to the scorching midday heat. It can even go for days without drinking water, thanks to a diet of tender leaves, lichen, and berries, all growing from the very rocks no one would expect to hold life. And unlike large antelope herds, klipspringers live in lifelong pairs. One forages while the other keeps watch, their bond so strong that even in danger, they never part ways. When comparing an elite hunting squad to a tiny mountain-dwelling pair, it's not about who is stronger. It's about how each is a product of perfect adaptation to their environment. And that is why, despite being formidable predators on the savannah, when standing before a small klipspringer on rocky terrain, the African wild dog must stand down. Because in the wild, strength and numbers don't decide everything. The terrain, it too, decides fate. As the sun begins to peak above the horizon, casting golden light over the morning mist of the African savannah, a pack of African wild dogs quietly emerges from their den. Their steps are light, their large round ears rotating like living antennas for sound, and a near-complete silence blankets the group. It's not the silence of rest, it's preparation for a chase, a twilight hunt. This is the perfect time for those that live by the rhythm of low light, creatures with a biological rhythm known as crepuscular. In biology, crepuscular refers to species that are most active during dawn and dusk. Unlike diurnal species, active in daylight, or nocturnal species, living in darkness, crepuscular animals exist between two worlds, not fully in the light, not yet swallowed by night. They are masters of the golden hours of nature. When shadows stretch across the ground, the chill of night still lingers and the midday heat has yet to take hold. Some are matutinal, active only in the morning. Others are vespertine, appearing only at dusk. Most are active during both. For African wild dogs, this rhythm is no accident. The African savanna is an unforgiving place, where midday temperatures can exceed 35 degrees Celsius, and powerful predators like lions and spotted hyenas prowl constantly. By beginning their hunts early or late, wild dogs avoid heat stress, reduce competition, and strike at times when prey is least alert. Their high hunting success rate, already among the top for carnivores, reaching up to 85% in ideal conditions, comes largely from this precise timing. In the dim, filtered light of those hours, the wild dog pack operates like a tactical unit. No loud calls, no reckless charges. They observe, close in, and at a soft whistle, they launch. The prey, perhaps a young impala or a small wildebeest, barely has time to react before it's surrounded and drawn into a spiral of exhaustion. But crepuscular is not just the rhythm of predators. Many prey species also follow twilight rhythms. Flying insects or small antelopes like the klipspringer often forage at dawn or dusk. This makes twilight a prime time in the survival chain. Prey emerges to feed, predators begin to stalk. Crepuscular behavior is not a guaranteed formula for success. It is a refined strategy of adaptation, balancing light, temperature, competition, and terrain. Creatures of twilight are not the strongest, not the fastest, but they are masters of timing and context, knowing how to optimize every chance to stay alive. From the wild dogs sprinting across the savannah to the klipspringer standing guard on a cliff, all are driven by a profound biological clock. In that world, every beam of light and every patch of shadow holds meaning. And so, in the African wild, where life and loss are as close as light and dark, it is the twilight hours, seemingly vague and fleeting, that belong to the wisest of them all. As dusk settles in, the African savanna gradually sinks into a hazy purple mist. This is the moment of transition between day and night, the time when the twilight hunters wrap up their pursuit. But as the final light fades, it marks the awakening of those who rule the dark. Instinct rises with hunger. Night is not merely stillness, it is a kingdom of chaos, where survival instincts are pushed to the extreme. Nocturnal animals are creatures that are primarily active at night and rest during the day. This is the result of millions of years of adaptation to harsh conditions, evading predators or reducing food competition with daytime species. These animals possess unique biological traits to thrive in low-light conditions, from large eyes that amplify light to highly developed senses of hearing and smell. One of the most iconic symbols of nocturnal life on the African savanna is the Verreaux's eagle owl. It is the largest owl in Africa, with a wingspan that can exceed 1.6 meters and females weighing up to 3.1 kilograms. Its most recognizable feature is its unique pink eyelids, a trait found in no other owl species in the world. Its pale gray-brown feathers, off-white facial disc, rimmed with black, and dark brown eyes give it a cold, commanding appearance, like a creature born from the night itself. This owl is a master of nighttime hunting. It often appears near water holes where animals gather to drink in the dark, lying in wait for prey. Unlike predators that rely on speed or brute strength, the Verreaux's eagle owl is the embodiment of precision. Its broad wings, with specially adapted feathers, allow it to fly almost silently, letting it approach its prey undetected. Its large eyes absorb maximum light, while its neck can rotate nearly 270 degrees, offering a sweeping field of vision without moving its body. Its diet reflects both its power and versatility, from hares and small monkeys to even challenging prey like porcupines, which it skillfully attacks from the unspined face, then strips the back clean. If the Verreaux's eagle owl is the quiet shadow in the sky, then on the ground, another creature begins its nightly journey, the spotted hyena. Contrary to its often unfair label as ugly or ruthless, the spotted hyena is one of the most intelligent and socially complex predators in the natural world. They live in large clans structured by a matriarchal system where females not only grow larger but also dominate the entire hierarchy. The alpha female holds reproductive rights and leads the group. Males are generally subordinate, pushed to the margins when it comes to food access and mating opportunities. The weaker males live under constant social pressure with elevated cortisol levels, stress hormones, compared to females. Their social system is flexible, splitting or reuniting depending on the situation. When rearing cubs, some females withdraw to dens, while others venture out for night hunts and return to share food. Spotted hyenas are primarily nocturnal carnivores. They can travel more than 12 kilometers each night, patrolling territory, scent marking, and tracking prey. Their vision is perfectly adapted for darkness thanks to a tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina that enhances night vision. Moreover, their retinas are densely packed with rod cells, allowing them to detect motion in the dark far better than most daytime species. Their large, round ears rotate independently to pinpoint distant sounds, and their keen sense of smell can detect carrion or scent marks from other species over several kilometers. Strategically, hyenas may hunt alone for small prey or team up to bring down larger animals like zebras or wildebeests. Their exceptional adaptability and stamina allow them to wear down prey until it collapses from exhaustion. Still, they won't pass up the opportunity to scavenge, a role that makes them crucial to keeping the ecosystem clean. Tonight, a lone blue wildebeest makes its way to a small waterhole, far from the herd. That alone is unusual. Wildebeests are known for their herd mentality and collective intelligence. They migrate hundreds of kilometers each year in search of water and fresh grass. A solitary individual almost always means injury or exhaustion. It drags its heavy steps, mud caked on its legs, eyes dulled with fatigue. As it collapses near the edge of the water, its heavy breathing signals that its end is near, and those signals do not go unnoticed. From afar, a group of scavengers has already caught its scent. There is no need to rush. Time is on their side. As the first light of dawn appears on the horizon, the air begins to warm. The scent of blood begins to spread. The sounds of that brief struggle draw in more predators. Vultures descend from above. Jackals linger nearby, ready to snatch their share. A nighttime feast unfolds, not with laughter, but with the sounds of flesh tearing and snarling. The night hunters retreat to their shelters. All that remains of the wildebeest is bone and scraps of hide. Herds of antelope, zebras, and impalas arrive at the waterhole. They walk past the carcass without pause, as if death is simply part of the scenery. By afternoon, the last of the vultures leave, passing what remains to ants, beetles, and decomposers. Nothing is left behind. The death of one creature becomes the life of dozens more. It is not cruelty. It is a closed cycle, an inescapable natural order. On the savannah, even in the suffocating darkness, there is a law of life being upheld. And so, the night continues, relentless, unbroken. The rulers of the dark rise again, guided by hunger and instinct. And nature's biological clock strikes the next cycle in a wild universe, mysterious, yet meticulously precise, as if some invisible hand has orchestrated it all since the dawn of time. And yet, while one creature quietly collapses into the night, far away, on the misty edge of the horizon, the ground begins to tremble beneath millions of footsteps. It is not the roar of predators, but the steady drumbeat of life itself, echoing across the savannah like an ancient prayer, repeated year after year. more than 1 million blue wildebeest are trailing one another on a never-ending journey. The Great Migration. The greatest migration on Earth, where life, death, hope and loss all merge into every dust-filled stride. Over 1.5 million blue wildebeest, along with around 400,000 plains zebras and more than 200,000 Thompson's gazelles. They begin leaving the Serengeti Plains around late May or early June as the rainy season comes to an end. Their one goal: to reach the lush, nutrient-rich grasslands of the Masai Mara in Kenya. This journey spans more than 800 kilometers, cutting across arid lands, sun-scorched savannas, and fierce rivers. The migration route begins in the southern Serengeti, where the first seasonal rains have revived the vegetation. From there, the herds gradually move westward through the Western Corridor forest belt, where the Grumeti River stands in their way. They then circle north, crossing the Lamai Plains before reaching the Mara River and entering the Masai Mara in southern Kenya. By around October, when rains return to southern Serengeti, the wildebeest begin their reverse journey, completing a closed seasonal migration loop. This is not a journey of days, but a cycle of survival, repeated with each shifting rhythm of nature. Remarkably, there is no single leader guiding the herd. The blue wildebeest's navigational ability is almost a biological miracle. They can sense rainfall from dozens of kilometers away, perhaps through changes in air pressure, humidity, or simply by watching lightning flash on the horizon. Small groups begin to gather, and through a domino effect, the entire army moves. The instinct to find fresh grass drives every step. Females impregnated during the early rains are now preparing to give birth. Across the southern Serengeti Plains, in just a brief window of 2 to 3 weeks in February, over 500,000 calves are born, an explosion of life unlike anything else. Amazingly, within just 7 minutes of birth, a calf can stand up and run alongside its mother. This immediate survival ability is what gives them a fighting chance on the perilous journey ahead. Alongside the wildebeest march many companion species, flocks of birds, herds of zebras, and gazelles moving in unison. And of course, the predators follow closely. Lions, cheetahs, leopards, along with spotted hyenas, always lurking behind, watching for the young or the weak. The presence of these companions is no coincidence. Zebras often lead the way, acting as pathfinders thanks to their sharp predator detection and quick reflexes. Their teeth are adapted to feed on taller grasses, while wildebeest graze on the shorter shoots, closer to the ground. This complementary feeding strategy allows them to coexist peacefully throughout the journey. Gazelles, with their small, agile bodies and high speed, often travel along the edges of the herd, like mobile sentinels, alerting the group to danger. When night falls on the savannah, the wildebeest don't stop. Under the silver-blue glow of the moon, hundreds of thousands of hooves continue pounding the earth, like the heartbeat of the land itself. Their night vision isn't perfect like that of a cat, but coordination within the herd, combined with vocal calls and distinct herd scent, helps them maintain formation and stay on course. In the dark, big cats like lion and leopard become even more formidable. Their eyes are highly reflective and incredibly sensitive, and they possess an uncanny ability to stay hidden. A sudden strike from the shadows can bring down a young, inexperienced animal in the blink of an eye. The first major challenge on the route is the Grumeti River. Though not as wide as the Mara, Grumeti is home to some of the most aggressive Nile crocodiles. These giants can lie still for an entire year, waiting for this moment when hundreds of thousands of thirsty wildebeest are forced to cross. reaching lengths of 4 to 5 meters, some even exceeding 6 meters and weighing nearly a ton. These crocodiles have bite forces up to 5,000 pounds per square inch, more than 30 times that of a human. They hide beneath murky water, revealing only their eyes, nose, and ears above the surface. Their streamlined olive-toned bodies blend perfectly with the surroundings, rendering them nearly invisible. Pressure sensors along their jaws allow them to detect even the slightest vibrations on the water's surface. And when a hesitant wildebeest approaches the riverbank, the sentence is signed. A sudden lunge, razor-sharp jaws clamped onto the prey, followed by a death roll, shattering bones and tearing flesh. The end comes swiftly and without mercy, but the strength of grazing animals lies in numbers. Even knowing the river is a place of life and death, the herd must cross. When one is dragged under, the rest may pause and shift direction. They search for narrower crossings, steeper banks, or calmer waters, guided by herd instinct. At times, thousands of wildebeest stand hesitant at the edge for hours, until a single trailblazer leaps. In that instant, like a taut string finally snapping, hundreds, even thousands follow, surging into the river in a roaring storm of motion. Each blue wildebeest is a biological machine optimized for movement. Broad shoulders and long, powerful legs allow them to maintain speeds up to 60 kilometers per hour. Their forward-leaning build gives them a swaying gait that conserves energy, converting over 62% of metabolic energy into forward motion, an impressive efficiency in the animal kingdom. They can even go up to 5 days without drinking, allowing the herd to cross arid zones without slowing down. But the real test lies ahead. The Mara River, separating Kenya and Tanzania, is one of the most grueling stretches. It flows fast and deep, with the highest density of Nile crocodiles in the region. Unlike Grumeti, where crocodiles lie in scattered ambushes, in Mara, they operate like a coordinated predator network. They wait at the narrowest crossings, where the wildebeest are most likely to attempt their leap. As the herd arrives, the water churns. Crocodiles rise like ghosts from the current, snatching any wildebeest that makes a wrong move. Each strike lowers the herd's odds of survival. Some wildebeest, caught midstream, still fight back, kicking, stomping on their attackers' heads, then leaping to the opposite bank as if lifted by divine hands. That struggle isn't just instinct. It's a declaration of life, fight or be swallowed. However, not all make it to the other side. Many young ones, still too fragile, or the elderly, no longer strong enough, are unable to withstand the rushing current. The river swallows them whole, no claws or fangs needed. It's estimated that over 250,000 individuals fail to complete the journey each year. Their bodies drift downstream, caught in riverbanks or sinking to the bottom. Yet their deaths are not in vain. Those fallen bodies bring life to countless others. As they decompose, each carcass releases massive amounts of carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, 3 essential nutrients that fuel the explosion of algae and aquatic plant growth. Recent research from the Wildlife Conservation Society shows that every ton of wildebeest carcass delivers more than 120 kilograms of carbon, 13 kilograms of nitrogen, and 10 kilograms of phosphorus, enough to sustain an entire food chain for months. The arrival of these nutrients triggers algal blooms, increases populations of aquatic invertebrates like snails and insect larvae, and boosts food availability for small fish. Those small fish, in turn, feed larger fish and water birds. In fact, studies have shown increased populations of catfish and predator species like tigerfish in the months following migration. Even after the soft tissues dissolve, bones continue to break down, releasing calcium and phosphorus into river sediment. These minerals leach slowly over months, serving as a steady, sustainable nutrient flow. In major migration years, the nutrients released from wildebeest carcasses can exceed natural sources by tenfold, supercharging river productivity and enhancing biodiversity far downstream, where nutrient-rich water nourishes riverside vegetation and sustains a thriving mosaic of life. And so, within that endless cycle of life and death, the Great Migration continues. The wildebeest run on. They do not know what tomorrow holds, only that greener pastures lie ahead. That is their fate, the sacred duty etched into every sinew of their bodies, because only by moving forward can they preserve the fragile balance of nature. And in this wild world, there is no room for hesitation. You either search for life or become the hunted. Savannah, where the line between survival and loss blurs like sunlight piercing through the thin dust of an African dawn. From the vast grasslands of the Serengeti to the intricate floodplains of the Okavango Delta and the ancient terrains of Ruaha and Kruger, these are far more than just havens for ecotourism. They are some of the greatest arenas of survival on Earth, where every creature must make a choice, become the hunter or end up as the hunted. In this fierce game of life, lion, cheetah, leopard, and wild dog are master predators, each with their own unique approach. The lion relies on strength and the power of teamwork. The cheetah turns speed into its greatest weapon, while the wild dog is a true strategist, boasting a success rate of up to 80%, the highest among all major carnivores. Yet even they don't get to relax once the prey is down. Hyena waits in silence, vulture circles above, the opportunists who don't need to hunt, only to spot a slip in vigilance. On the other side, zebra, wildebeest, impala, and buffalo may be considered targets, but don't mistake them for helpless. A herd of full-grown buffalo can force an entire pride of lion to retreat if they coordinate and take advantage of the land. And the impala? They read the wind, react to the slightest sound, and move in formation, as if playing a high-speed chess match with fate itself. There's no room for error on the battlefield of the savannah. A chase lasting mere seconds can be the result of hours of patience, reading wind direction, tracking the time of day, and sensing the mood within the group. By day, lion rest in the shade of trees, but when night falls, the growl of a leopard or the eerie howls of a hyena echo like a ghostly bell calling out the timid. There's no mercy here. One misstep from a gazelle could mark the end of its journey. But it's in this very intensity that courage, resilience, and the power of unity are truly put to the test. The African savanna, a wilderness both brutal and breathtaking, life, people have been implementing specific, effective conservation strategies rooted in science, international cooperation, and the commitment of local communities themselves. One of the most critical efforts today is the expansion and interconnection of ecological reserves. African Parks, an organization operating in more than 22 reserves across 12 African countries, manages over 20 million hectares of wilderness, an area comparable in size to the state of Florida. Under a public-private partnership model, they not only protect habitats but also strengthen patrol systems, prevent illegal hunting, and help restore wildlife populations. This is especially vital for species under severe threat, such as the African wild dog, cheetah, and lion. At Akagera National Park in Rwanda, thanks to strict protection measures, the lion population has grown from 0 to over 50 individuals in just 7 years, after being reintroduced from South Africa in 2015. At the same time, organizations like Panthera are building biological migration corridors that reconnect scattered areas of the savanna. These corridors allow species like leopard and cheetah to roam freely in search of mates and food without being blocked by fences, roads, or farmland. They also help reduce the risk of inbreeding, a leading cause of genetic decline, and ensure that animal populations can recover in a more natural way. Research published in the journal Nature found that regions with connected corridors saw cheetah densities increase by over 30% compared to fragmented areas. Beyond habitat protection, technology is playing an increasingly important role in conservation. With GPS collar devices fitted on lion, wild dog, and jackal, scientists can track individual behavior, ranges, and health conditions with remarkable precision. This data helps guide more efficient resource allocation and is especially valuable in detecting unusual activity, possible signs of illegal hunting, or disease outbreaks. According to data from the Lion Recovery Fund, approximately $1.2 million are being invested annually in technology-based lion monitoring across more than 15 key areas in Africa. One of the most essential elements for long-term success is education and collaboration with local communities, the very people who live with the savanna every day. In Tanzania and Kenya, programs like Lion Guardians recruit young Maasai individuals and train them to become protectors of lions rather than hunters. These guardians patrol, collect data, and prevent conflicts between humans and lions, while also serving as cultural bridges between nomadic traditions and modern conservation. Since 2007, the program has helped reduce retaliatory lion killings by more than 90% in the Amboseli National Park area. We also cannot overlook the critical financial support from international organizations and governments. In 2022, the European Union funded over €200 million for ecological conservation projects across Africa, part of a global strategy to restore 30% of the planet's wild ecosystems by the year 2030. These funds support ranger training, wildlife rescue center development, and the growth of ecotourism, a sustainable alternative source of income for local populations. Importantly, the role of ecotourism goes far beyond economics. In countries like Botswana and Namibia, where blue wildebeest undertake massive migrations, tourism revenue accounts for 11 to 14% of national gross domestic product. This creates a direct incentive for both governments and communities to safeguard natural habitats, as each wild animal is not just a creature of the land, but also an ambassador that draws global attention. And thanks to these journeys, visitors from the United States, Europe, and Asia can witness nature's greatness and fragility, up close and personal. In a world steadily losing its connection to the land and to wildlife, the African savanna feels like an open doorway into the raw, untouched beauty that the Creator bestowed upon the earth from the beginning. If we don't hold that door open, it won't just be lions or hyenas we lose, we risk losing a part of our own purpose in the vibrant symphony that nature began. Every small action we take can create a ripple of meaningful change. By supporting conservation organizations, spreading awareness about wildlife, choosing responsible ecotourism, and reducing our environmental impact, each of us can become part of the solution. The savanna ecosystem and species like lion, cheetah, and African wild dog need the voices and support of the entire global community. Let's take action today for a future where the wild still echoes its timeless call across the heart of the earth. And if you've ever been on a wild African safari, witnessed a heart-pounding chase straight out of a nature documentary, don't hesitate to share your insights and stories in the comments below. Your experience could inspire and energize others to join in protecting wildlife and preserving fragile ecosystems for generations to come. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell to join us on more of nature's incredible journeys. Or keep following the survival stories of Africa's wild in Africa's 7, Nature's Fiercest Battlegrounds, or Wild Animals, Trails of Survival, Untold Migrations of the Savannah Wild.